Page 99 is to screamo as Shigeru Miyamoto is to video games. If you're a greasy gamer gooner, you know that Shigeru Miyamoto is the man responsible for creating the Super Mario Bros. Video game franchise. In doing so, he saved the dying medium of video games and pioneered a whole new approach to making and experiencing them. After Miyamoto laid the groundwork for a successful and fun 2D platformer, it wouldn't take long for the sharks to smell the blood in the water and for the competitors to start coming out of the woodwork. These competitors would modify and improve upon what Shigeru Miyamoto already laid down. But in the 90s, Sonic the Hedgehog stole the spotlight from everybody's favorite Italian plumber. Today, I tell that very same story, except the screamo version. The role of Sonic will be played by the band Massa Nera. And Tails will be portrayed by Quiet Fear. Hey, how's it going? My name is Dan Frampton. I like screamo music and I make videos right here on this channel all about the underground DIY scene. I've been making video essays here and there, but today I wanted to take a little bit of a different approach. Admittedly, it's not built upon the best analogy and the timelines don't exactly match up, but I won't let the facts get in the way of a good story. So suspend your disbelief by a factor of 2.14 gigawatts. This is the story of how Massa Nera and Quiet Fear stole the spotlight from screamo pioneers Page 99 at New Friends Fest 2023 in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, as told through the lens of a brain-rotted Midwest emo nerd who is equating the $20,000 DIY industry of screamo to the billion-dollar mega behemoth that is the video game industrial complex. Let's go! Chapter 1. Page 99 lays mad pipe. You're a gamer. You know all about Pong and the Atari. You don't care about that anymore. You've heard that E.T. game story a million times. You get it. They buried millions of copies of a video game in the 80s because of how bad it sucked. You've seen all the documentaries and YouTube videos about it. You're over it. Yeah, you know, it was called the video game crash of 1983 and you couldn't give less of a shit about that today. It doesn't faze you. You're a modern day gamer with more skibbity riz than any bot in your Fortnite lobby. You literally teabag NPCs IRL. But bruh, you wouldn't even know what a Z-Buck was if it wasn't for this fuzzy cluster of pixels over here. For today, I want you to think of the 90s DIY scene like the 80s video game landfill. I mean landscape.
E.T. is definitely here.
In the mid-90s, DIY was breaking down a little bit. Emo was shaking anxiously in a corner, while a very confused and stale hardcore scene was chugging along right beside it. Neither genre wanted to be seen in the same light as what was happening on the mainstream, nor did they want to embrace one another. Very stubborn. This would cause the collapse I'm gonna call the DIY crash of 1994, just for funsies. It was clear that there was at least an imbalance in the underground that set the DIY ecosphere off its axis for a little bit. Emo was seen as a little bit too weak to integrate itself into hardcore, but with hindsight as a benefit, it's clear that they both needed each other in order to breathe new life into both respective scenes, thus making all of DIY stronger in the process. Where Shigeru Miyamoto had the idea to take his Jumpman asset from the Donkey Kong cabinet and place it into a series of stages with increasing difficulty, Page 99 had the idea to add 3 guitars, 2 singers, a drummer, and just to make sure it's the loudest thing possible on earth, an unprecedented 2 bass players to an increasingly louder and faster series of songs. They were sweatier and more intense than either world, emo or hardcore, have seen up until that point. Were they the first band to scream over emo riffs? No, of course not. Were they the first 2-person fronted band? Not by a long shot, buddy. Nobody's saying that. But what they did was come in, change the DIY landscape, and vanish all in about 5 years between 1997 and 2003. With 8 people in the band, I'm surprised it lasted longer than 5 months, let alone 5 years. I can only imagine what scheduling band practice was like. Potential logistical drama aside, it's safe to say that the screamo pipes have been laid. Chapter 2, the Skramz Genesis. Being labeled as a gamer through the early 2000s was not viewed positively out there in the real world. People saw you as a lazy slob with no job who probably lived in their parents' basement. Or whatever. It was a lazy stereotype, but they loved it. As we move into the 2020s, gamers have taken that term as their own and they wear it proudly for everyone to see. Some of the internet's most successful people are gamers. So now there's a tiny bit of social proof that might fool a coworker into thinking it can amount to something. It's still nothing they'll see as anything worth any real respect though. But hey, at least you might not get shunned at the next party you go to for accidentally mentioning Elden Ring at work one day. The same can be said for the terms emo, screamo, and Skramz. Each term started basically as a slur or a meme, then the next generation would just flip it to flip it. We're currently sitting at a spot where you can confidently say and or embrace the entire emo spectrum however you see fit. Just be ready for a couple gatekeepers down there in the comments. Back in the day, bands used to not want to associate with the term emo because of the connotations, but now we have bands like Claybirds and Numb Ears, and not only are they making it okay, they're making it cool. With screamo at its coolest and its fans at their most ravenous, there really should be a Comic-Con-esque thing to cater to the fandom. Oh wait, duh, there is. It's called New Friends Fest, and it happens in Toronto, Ontario, Canada during the first week of August. Chapter 3, Massa, Nera, and Quiet Fear outshine Page99 at New Friends Fest 2023. Before we get there, however, cast your mind back to 1992. That was the year Sonic 2 was released for the Sega Genesis. Fast, fresh, and iconic to this day. You know what came out in the Mario series in 1992? Super Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins on the Game Boy. Not exactly a 1-to-1 fight over here. With Mario, you're playing it on this little screen, and with Sonic, the sound and level design mixed with exhilarating gameplay was turning the gamer brains of the time into absolute gamer goo mush paste. Yeah, it's safe to say that spiky blue fella was taking the spotlight. Easily and handily so, I might add. Especially given that the last good Mario game came out 2 years earlier, the original Super Mario World for the Super NES. But that was 2 years ago, bro. 2 years is an eternity in gamer years. People wanted something, and then they got it. I see New Friends Fest 2023 Night 3 like every middle-class suburban boy's 1992 Christmas. Open up one package. Aw, gee, thanks for the tiny game that I'm gonna play on this tiny console over here with this out-of-date little plumber man. Nuh-uh, no. I think I'd rather snag a few golden rings and go loop-de-loop at alarming speeds, if that's okay with you. So that was me, standing there at New Friends Fest 2023. Row 3. I was there. I was there to see Page99. Everybody here was gathered upon the Lithuania House to bear witness to the pioneers of this style of music as they headline a fest essentially built for them. Tonight is supposed to be Page99's night, but they don't play for a couple hours. What I'm seeing being built up in front of my eyes looks like a backline setup for two bands to play simultaneously. I know that Page99 has 8 members, but a 2-drummer thing was never in the cards. So, why was I seeing 2 drum kits being built right now? There were what seemed like 50 cabs and 40 pedal boards all being plugged in. I was aghast just watching the bands as they set up their elaborate assortment of gear. It was like witnessing the Sonic 2 trailer for the first time. The only thing going through my mind was, what am I about to witness? What I ended up seeing that evening was the absolute craziest thing I have ever seen in my life. Music or otherwise. No hyperbole. This shit was fucking insane. It was indeed 2 bands. It was the Sonic and Tails of this adventure, Massa, Nera, and Quiet Fear playing together. That means simultaneously at the same time. At first, they were ping-ponging songs back and forth. Suddenly, the members would all switch and mix. The raw energy and sheer power through decibels is something that is very hard to make sound good, fun, and engaging, and not just a soupy, sloppy mess. But dude, bro, man, dog, this shit was fucking tight. There were moments where everybody was playing together and they were also locked in the pocket. It was almost scary. I joked earlier about how scheduling band practice with 8 members would have been crazy, but this is something entirely different. 2 bands from opposite coasts were playing so well together that it seemed like they've been playing together since birth. As all of this was unfolding in front of me, I knew there was no way that this set was gonna be topped. You don't just see the craziest thing you've ever seen in your life ever just to see something even crazier immediately afterwards. It doesn't work like that. Page99 did play later and it was obviously amazing, don't get me wrong. But it's time for Chapter 4, my conclusion. You see, Massa, Nera, and Quiet Fear had just dropped a split together, and what I saw them do that night was essentially play that split live. That's a crazy ass concept, and they absolutely pulled it off to perfection. They went on to play more shows with Page99 that I kinda see like the Sonic Mario Olympic game crossovers. But the question remains, can Massa, Nera, and Quiet Fear replace Page99 on the screamo timeline? No, of course not. That's stupid as hell.
Mario is still Mario. Mario will always be Mario.
But on that one night during a fest built to celebrate the pioneers, that spotlight was yoinked and yeeted by a couple scrappy underdogs. Okay, that was fun. You're in the end game. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.